If you have that EFCC certificate that is referred to as SCUML certificate, this particular video is for you. Or if you're a real estate agent and you have registered your business, or you are a developer, or whoever you are that falls under the category of a designated non-financial business and professional, or other businesses that may later be added to this particular list by the government. So if you're carrying out any of these businesses, then this particular video is for you. And of course, the government regulations and compliance course is also for you. Now, are you aware, as somebody who has a SCUML certificate, that after you got that certificate, there are at least 12 other responsibilities and obligations that you must fulfill to continually carry out that business or avoid fines? As a matter of fact, your failure to fulfill those responsibilities can lead to either shutting down of your business, attracting heavy fines to your business, and if at criminal levels, can even lead to imprisonment. And this is absolutely serious. As the lead facilitator of Fortreal Real Estate Academy, I made this particular video for realtors, developers, top-selling realtors, and everybody playing in the field of real estate as a professional. However, this video is useful to everybody that is a designated non-financial business and professional. And I'm going to read the section 30 of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act that tells, or that shows, all the people who are meant to fulfill everything I am saying in this particular video. So whether you're a realtor or a real estate agent, the government regulations and compliance course is for you. The moment you are part of doing any of the businesses that I'm going to mention right now, this particular video is for you, and the government regulations and compliance course is also for you. So quickly, if you are a dealer in jewelry, cars and luxury goods, precious stones, metals, real estate developers, real estate surveyors, valuers, estate agents, chartered accountant, audit firms, tax consultants, clearing and settlement companies, hotels, casinos, supermarkets, dealers in mechanized farming equipment and machineries, practitioners of mechanized farming, or such other businesses. Very quickly, before I give you other responsibilities that you are meant to carry out as somebody who has a SCUML certificate, let me quickly give you some of the fines that you can attract for non-compliance as relates to the provisions of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act. All right. Now, this is not, in fact, one thing I must tell you at this very point, which is very important, is the fact that as somebody who is into real estate or a designated non-financial business and professional, naturally, we would always say in Nigeria that there are laws, but enforcement is the problem. It is not one video, one instruction, or one conversation you want to joke with. Because if you ask your colleagues who are doing well, either as realtors and have registered businesses, or are developers, you realize that they have been heavily fined and nobody is going to tell you, right? So you do not want to wait till EFCC SCUML knocks on your door or serves you a letter for investigation before you file these reports or carry out these responsibilities. So yes, this video is educational as well as a warning to you to avoid paying heavy fines for not carrying out these responsibilities as somebody who has a SCUML certificate. Based on the document that I have here, this is how it works. There's the required action. There is the offense that you commit for not carrying out that action. If you are a firm or a professional or a business, there are different categories of fine. And then, of course, in aggravated situations, there are fines that you are meant to pay. All right. And the first one here is not having your compliance program as relates to your AML, CFT, CPF policies and procedures. And for that, you have a fine of 1 million naira if you're a professional or 500,000 naira if you're a business. And in aggravated situation, this can lead to the suspension of your business, and this is serious. All right, and I think I will not be able to run through all of them because, as I mentioned, there are about 10 responsibilities that you are meant to carry out after getting your SCUML certificate, and each of them, your failure to perform each of these responsibilities comes with heavy fines. All right, and some of them are as much as 1 million naira, 10 million naira, and of course imprisonment in aggravated situations, really when there's a criminal activity involved. For you as a business owner, a professional, a real estate agent, or a developer, you must understand that the whole essence of SCUML and EFCC generally, and other financial intelligence unit as well, right? You must understand that the whole goal behind all of this is to ensure that money laundering activities are drastically reduced in Nigeria. And unfortunately, you as a business owner can be used for money laundering activities without knowing. That is why all of this is important. And whether you are used or not, your failure to perform these regulatory responsibilities can lead to shutting down of your business or fines. And I've already given you some of the fines that you can attract for non-compliance as relates to these responsibilities. Now, the very first responsibility here is that you register with SCUML, which a lot of persons do, but after that, they no longer do the rest, right? And I'm just going to read through the other responsibilities, and then you can pay attention to each of them. And of course, there is a way to carry out all of the responsibilities. That's why we created a course, which is the Government Regulations and Compliance course. And in that course, we walk you through. That course has 12 modules that teaches you everything you need to know as it relates to SCUML, as it relates to regulatory compliance, as it relates to avoiding money laundering, and everything you literally need to know as far as how to file all the necessary reports that would avoid or help you avoid paying these heavy fines. All right, so number one is register with SCUML. Your second responsibility after getting your SCUML certificate is to make currency transaction report, all right, to SCUML for any single transaction, lodgement, or transfer of funds in excess of 5 million naira or its equivalent in case of an individual. If it's a company and there's a transaction above 10 million, you must file accordingly. And of course, there's how to file all of this, right? Number three, make cash-based transactions report for transactions that are in excess of $1,000 or its equivalent in naira. All right, and in fact, you're meant to file this within 7 days. All right, and then number four, make suspicious transactions reports. Right, and this is to Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, which is a bit an addition to all of the conversations, right? And number five, notify EFCC. No, I will not tell you this one. This one is for paid class. Number six, conduct due diligence on source of funds where applicable, depending on the circumstance. And of course, there's your KYC, there's your due diligence and all of that you are expected to carry out based on certain transactions. All right. And number six is conduct screening from sanctions and anti-terrorist funding lists, right? Something referred to as funding list or terrorism list, both at the international level and at the Nigerian level. There are certain transactions that you're expected to make sure that you check those lists before you proceed with doing any kind of transaction. And the next is risk assessment and categorization. As a business owner, as a developer, as a real estate agent, you must have risk assessment and categorization for all of your clients. And then you place them where they should be depending on the type of transaction or client you are dealing with part-time. And the next is record keeping. And all of your records must be kept. You must keep records of your client for at least 5 years. In fact, if you ask me, I'll say don't even destroy records at all. And of course, in line with record, there's your KYC, which is know your customer. And there's a requirement or terms that you must, or template that you must work with to get the necessary information from your client before you carry out any form of transaction as somebody who is a designated non-financial business and professional. And of course, there's the education and training which you are meant to carry out. You're meant to educate your staff as often as possible, and there are terms and conditions to this. And of course, there's also the manual that you are meant to have. All right, there's also the manual that you are meant to have, which is the AML CFT training manual for your director, staff, and everybody in the organization. And there's a way to also carry out this. And of course, there are other key and important responsibilities that you must carry out in line with the provisions of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2022. So as I wrap up this conversation, this entire video was done to educate you, because a lot of persons assume that the moment they have their SCUML certificate, then they are good to go. As a matter of fact, the day you get your SCUML certificate is the day that your job, your responsibility, your obligations begin as far as it concerns money laundering activities, or your responsibility to aid in combating money laundering right here in Nigeria. So just in case you'd like to know all of the things that are in the Government Regulations and Compliance course, we have Module 1 as Introduction, Real Estate as a Major Tool for Money Laundering. Module 2, Certification for Legal Operations as a Developer or Realtor. Module 3, Post-certification responsibilities and how to avoid fines and non-compliance issues. Module 4, real estate, money laundering, and all you need to know. Module 5, setting up your company's compliance structure or compliance program. Module 6, actionable compliance duties and fines for default and non-compliance. Module 7, customer client due diligence for realtors and developers and other designated non-financial business and professionals. Module 8, compliance obligations of all employees, directors, consultants, and interns in every real estate company. Module 9, risk assessment and client categorization. Module 10, compliance and record keeping for all developers and realtors and other designated non-financial businesses and professionals. Module 11, types of compliance reports and how to file them. And module 12 is the practical video on how you can file all of these reports or each of these reports. Ladies and gentlemen, that's basically what we have for you at the Fortreal Estate Academy today. Our goal, right, is to make sure that you know how to sell. But after selling, right, now that you are selling, we also want to make sure that you are safe as relates to the legalities and responsibilities that the law is expected for you to fulfill as somebody who is in business, as a designated non-financial business and professional. And I beg you to take this seriously, because the fine that EFCC or SCUML, as the case may be, can hit on your table will definitely be higher than a lot of commissions that you're going to receive, and you don't want that to happen. So I'll see you on the next one. Again, my name is Raymond Ijama, and I am the lead facilitator of the Fortreal Estate Academy right here in Nigeria, where we teach you how to sell real estate consistently. And I hope to see you on the next video or after you take the course.